study group. And earlier, the video that you watched, it was a recap of the online study group in March. And Master Zheng always give us her blessing, say that we are enlightened and a compassionate group. We are pass on Dharma lineage. So you are welcome to join us together. Now, everybody, please stand up and put the palms together to make 3 bows to Buddha and the Master Zheng. First bow, second bow, and third bow. And let's chant the following together. We pass on Dharma essence with a sincere piety, unwaveringly to promote the Tzu Chi spirit, and we cherish the Tzu Chi affinity. So, dear Master Zheng Yan, Jing's aboard, and all the Tzu Chi volunteers in the world. So, let's make a vow. Go, go, go. Take action, take action, take action. We study and listen Dharma teaching mindfully, and so that we will be more diligently get closer to Master Zheng Yan's path. So please be seated. So look at your cell phone if there is a link of the online study group, and please transfer those links to your friends and to the friend that you know. So open online study group, open our heart, and we all the Tzu Chi family get together. We read Master Zheng Yan's diary diligently and united by Tzu Chi affinities. So let's say hi to everyone on the study group. So we pass on Dharma essence and recruit talent. Be part of online study group. So everyone, good day. So we are enlightened and a compassionate group. We are pass on Dharma lineage. And Master Zheng Yan said that you are Dharma messengers. So you have to pass on the Dharma lineage mindfully. And every time we read Master Zheng Yan's ideal talents, they are be humble but not arrogant, with self-esteem and cultivate with virtue. We are unselfishly to love everyone and treat everyone equally, and be open-minded and control our temper. We work hard, but we're not competitive with others. And we talk and take action in a dignified manner. So with this kind of characters, and they will be a qualified followers of a Master Zheng Yan. So we wish everyone can be Master Zheng Yan's ideal talent. So put our hands in front of our chest and say, Master Zheng Yan, please be relieved. We are your ideal talents. And then the Master Zheng Yan give her response and put her thumbs up, say you are so great. So now you can give the same gesture to the one sitting next to you and say you are great. So we can invite many more people to join us. And today our Master Zheng Yan diary progress is the review of the summer version, and the next week we will start from the spring version. So let's encourage each other to talk about Tzu Chi and read Master Zheng Yan's read the Dharma teaching mindfully, and believe we all have the potential, and we hold our initial exploration. And we appreciate that volunteer from Yunnan, and in our 8th anniversary, they composed a song and to give us a blessing. So the beauty only comes from the hard work, and the glory does not come from waiting. So we have to work hard and be more diligently, and reading it actually is so interesting. And we also appreciate that the headquarters whenever you give us a response, when you give us a feedback, and within 500 words, we will put it into a newsletter in a special column, and we appreciate that we can read and keep those in a good record. And you are welcome to give us your feedback. And today is the first week of April. So it's our term that the Kaohsiung translation team will provide the translation. And today we have the new interpreter. And so we will have a total of 7 members. And Sister Sen-Wei. And next time we will put her picture on the poster. And you can from the and you can and this is a feedback from our interpreter brother Suji Hao. And he is he did a very good job. Every time when I give him an article or to ask him to translate it, he always make it as the first priority. And he is so busy, but he always overcome all the difficulties and then make a good effort. And after we have the reunion in February 24th, and he realized that all the translation team from Malaysia, although they couldn't understand the Chinese, but it's a big challenge for them. They achieve all the goal. And he noticed that every members in this team, they make a big progress. And he feel grateful. He feel grateful that he can join this team. And I also told by everyone said that as being a leader, he did a very good preparation, all the vocabulary, and we really appreciate that his hard work. So this is how we recruit the talent. So although you are only understand the English, but you see in this group we try to overcome, and you will be you can be still inspired. So everyone are welcome to join us because everyone is the talent. And because okay, now we go into the next section. This is the feedback that we received from last week. And we received totally 207 messages. And then we pass on for resharing over 107 times. So if you have a cell phone, please transfer and click the link. Yeah, 207 messages was received and passed on for resharing 175 times. So, okay, this is the feedback on the teamwork. And like a brother Jianbing from Suzhou, he said that every time when he see Master Zheng Yan's finger pointing that direction, and actually that was his direction in his mind. And like Jennifer Lin, she said that and she feel grateful that every time, as soon as she get off work, she can get on the online study group. And because right now we are promote the fundraising, the raising the lotus, and each lotus equivalent to 10,000 NT dollars. And so those volunteers, they are also participant and join the fundraising program. And then we give volunteer from Italy give her a big hand. She said that that was her first time to get an online study group, and she was so touched by the online study group because the time difference actually was 3 o'clock in the morning. And then appreciate that the volunteer from Henan, and she feel grateful. And she learned so much from the so many good disciples. And like volunteer Xu Hong from Jiangsu, she said that the teacher Mei Ying is a good model and always give her positive energies. And then this is the feedback on the sharing from the volunteer in talent. And like someone said that because of brother Zhongxian's sharing, we realized the full steps of Tzu Ji's charity and medical mission in Thailand. And then this is the feedback on the guided reading group, a Master Zeng Yan's diary. We received many feedback. And then we appreciate like our environmental volunteers' hard work. And then from the diary, we learned that the brother Sen-Wei, even he was at 93 years old, he dedicated his life to Tzu Ji until until the end of his life. And then this is the sharing, and this is the feedback from our main character, brother Qing Zhong and sister Wen Surui. And we received many blessings, and from the sharing that sister Wen Surui give us, like the volunteer from Sando, and he said that she learned from Wen Surui that after joining Tzu Ji, her personality changed into a better way, and this is very inspiring. And also, they work so hard to recruit so many Tzu Ji members, and the donors. She recruits so many donors, and the donors name list into 23 books. That was really amazing. And the volunteer in Malaysia, she said that Sister Wen Surui is my role model. And then this is the feedback on the sharing from volunteer in Shanxi. The environmental protection effort is really great. And the promotion of environmental protection actually can be very interesting as long as you be mindful. So we are feel grateful. We appreciate their sharing. And then this is the feedback on the Kaohsiung entrepreneurs team. And they make the ball. They have the strong face and they make the ball and then the practice in the daily life. Although they are so busy, but they devote their life to Tzu and they are so busy, but they still practice Dharma teaching. And they invite one city councilor came here to give her a testimony. And then we also appreciate that feedback on the sharing of the young drama team in Kaohsiung. The young people actually give us many inspiration. And it was a very successful year-end blessing. And then this is a feedback from America. Like even brother Huang Chengde, he just came back from American, and he was in the quarantine period, and he feel grateful that during this period he can get online study group to learn so much. And this is the feedback from mainland China. We appreciate Shiqing and Wenqing to invite so many volunteers from China to be part of online study group, like Xi'an, like Jiangsu, like Beijing. They always stay with us. We appreciate it. We also have the message from Fuling, Guangxi, and Nanjing. And Henan, and then from Piaoshui, and Fuling, Guangxi, Baice. Thank you so much. So your comments are to us is very encouraging, and we also appreciate comments from Malaysia. And like Lily Cuckoo, she always get online and stay with us. And Lina Lee from Yibao and from Sabah. And we also have the message from Indonesia. We also have the message from Taiwan, Chunmei Hanwen, Pen Shiguo. And then we also have the comments from YouTube, from Malaysia. Yes, so happy to know that the Lotus donation are supported worldwide. Strongly believe that 10,000 Lotus will be achieved by May 6th. So because everyone is full of love and compassion, we will try our very best to achieve the goal. I'm busier. After we promote the fundraising of the Lotus, but it was very inspiring. And like the volunteers from American, he said that Taoyuan is always our first stop going back to Taiwan, and brother Yang and sister Wen always welcome us. Okay, so we're gonna finish the sharing, and then the fundraising we will mention it later, and we also appreciate the feedback from from the volunteer in Europe. And because of the time difference, actually right now is 3 o'clock in the morning for them. And then when I asked them to pass, 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 pass over, and the sister Tang Mei Kuan, she said that she stayed late that night because she tried to catch up some work. So after she clicked the link, and she was touched immediately.
左边这边是即将你会看到本尊的丽娜，等一下我们再来介绍她。她也说哦，这个读书会真的是超厉害。大家有没有看到我们的什么
this
漂
is
人过
the
海来看的
actress
这个演阮信元
uh,
的
阮
这一位阮
秋恒。
秋恒？你知
She
道吗？他
is
写
the
了
main
上下文，他
character
说他
of
不
the
晓得来到
TV
这里可以
drama
受到
Stay
这样
for
的超
Love,
前款待。
and
他
she
说
is
他其实
also
已经来
a
台湾一段时
Vietnamese.
间，10几年来，他第一
And
次哦，一进来有台湾人
she
穿
has
着
been
越
in
南的
Taiwan
服
for 10
饰
years,
站在
and
那边
she
欢
is
迎
the
他们。
first
他
time
说他真的
in
好感动，
Taiwan that
并且还
she
唱越南的舞。你
received
看
the
我们
warm
小小的一
welcoming
个心思，但你有没有
by
感觉到
the
是有
online
感触
study
到的？
group
然后他
team
觉得我们这
member
样一个读书
dressed
会科技接轨力量加
the
成是很棒
Vietnamese
的。好，
clothes.
首先再看一下，从8周年我们就认识了这个人之后呢，我才知道说他其实画一
And
段
we
时
have
间的。
the
大家看到这边，
volunteer that
我们是马来西亚培育
we
州
have
的
the
阮
we
思
have the
颖，来不断
volunteer
的掌
from
声给她
Malaysia.
好不好？
She drawing a
好，
comic
他边上线的时
to
候也边讲，
actually to
他
give
只有
us
8
the
周年画
recap
我，你要
to
不要改天再
to
画一下
us
我，
to
看会不会
show
变成什么样子，
what
好不
she
好？
had
好，
learned from
所以
the
在这
online
个当
study
下里
group
面呢，其
on
实
the
当我们把
every
这个传
section.
给我们的讲师的时候，你知道他
All
们就觉
the
得
all
哇，
the
好
lectures
惊
all
喜
the
啊！说你
lectures
们也
are
太神奇了。我说
really
我们的书有，我们的
appreciated.
书有画的，不是团队哈。所以
So
你看看，有人陪我们
so
笑快乐家
someone
的，
is
有人陪
looking
我
for
们
the
成长突
beautiful
破很大，
places,
有人
but
陪我们
someone
迎接
make
挑
a
战新
place
时代。
beautiful.
非常感恩所有陪伴我们的
And so
人。
we appreciate
所以我们
everyone
一
stay
起
with
让我
us.
们高雄线上读书会更美丽。你的手指头轻轻一点就是了。那现在我的手指头轻轻一点，大家看到这个
Okay.
可能对于
And
英国
then
的家人会吓一跳，然后说，哎，
this
这一部电脑还蛮熟悉的，是谁爆的料？好，那我们来
this
看
is a
看哈。
this is
他们
a
其实在最近
this
完
is
成
a
一对
video
人文真善
that
美的
they
一对。
just go
然
through
后呢，在这个
a
当
camp.
下里面呢，我们来看一下，以往呢，在英国的时候，其实要把
In the
信号
United
传回来
Kingdom
时候呢，
that
其实是要透过
they
人文
are
真善美，一样各活
they
动
this
是
is a
一样的。
video to
那
show
所
that
以呢，他们除了要
Tzu
去
Ji's
播报的
effort
之外呢，其实
to
像
take
瑞
care
珠
of
的话，他
the
其实也
homeless
来过，只
people
要回
in
到
the
高雄，
United
他就会
Kingdom.
来到我们高雄的主场哈。所以这是瑞珠对我们来讲
And
是比
Sister
较
Yang
熟悉，因为
Ruizu
他家里
actually
在
is
高雄。
familiar with
可
us.
是呢，在这个当下里面，我们可以看到了，就是他们其实也要去做人文真善美的一个学习。那
And
以往呢，就是没有疫情时代，
it's
大
very
家当然是
important
聚
to
在一
make
起，
the
聚在一起，
documentary.
然后大家呢
And
也来做这样子的一个工作，那同时也互相补位，人就是这样子教，就是手把手的教。可是疫情之后，他们又
because
做
of
什
the
么？他们
pandemic,
透过网
because
络，
of
可是
the
在这个当下，请问一下，
COVID-19
他们有
pandemic,
没有
they
很成功？ 这一次
they
参
couldn't
加的
come
人
to
超
Taiwan
多超
to
热情的，
join the
所以给
camp,
欧洲
so
的
they
家
can
人热烈掌
only
声。
learn
好，
from
那
online. And
那人文
even
真善美
though
就当人
the
文真善美吗？还
documentary
是人文
team
真善美可以做
they
其他的事？
can
人文真
they
善美
can
除了
they
去记
can
录之外，
they
所以我们可
can
以看
learn
到
so
画面
much
上，我们看
and
到
they
是
still
英
can
国，可
provide
是
a
即
good
便是英
service.
国，您看看。 天
And
灾
this is
人祸多，所以为什么我们要更多
and
后善的力
England
量？
we can see
所
the
以行
disaster
善人
is
间至
is
宝，每一
worldwide.
个小水滴的力
So
量都很
everyone
重要。
is
你看，
important.
即便他们在那边，实际上他们还是会产生困难。那我们现在即将看到的是，他们为这个阿嬷也去做。那现在画面上看到的这一位，就是
And from the video that you
素
can
贞师
see
姐，
that
她就是人文真善美这一个部分
and
的
she
王
is a
素贞师姐哈，所以她也会
documentary
有即将上线的一个机
volunteer.
会。可是，
And
即便是人
even
文真
she
善美，
is the
但是呢，她
volunteer
人个子小小
volunteer.
的，但是力
But
量是大
when
大的
she
哦。
paid
所以
the
非常感
visit
恩，
to the
恭喜
care
欧洲国家，
recipient
他们呢
to
最近
help
完成了这样的
the
一
people
个
in need.
重要的一个活动，而且满满的欢喜跟法喜。他说等到他们呢做好结
So
果，又跟
after
我
she
分享，
said that
非常
after
荣
she
幸哈，
finished the
就是有这
presentation,
样
she
子跟
will
欧洲家
share
人
with
连在一
us.
起。那之所以能够跟欧
So
洲家人连在一起，其实都
So
有一
now
个原
we
因。
are
第一
going
次
to
上
call
线的时候
out
是我们英
to
国的
our
负责人
next
哈，那
section. We're going to
所
call
以
out
呢，
to the
在
volunteer
当时的时候
in
呢，我们
in
的
United Kingdom.
朱师兄呢就上线，跟他们家的师姐彭宇珍师姐哈，然后就上线，我们看一下。
So
那也因为这样的一个上线的时候呢，让我们去感觉到说啊，英国的家人在那一个地方的时候，其实还是
let's
很
have a
友
look
善
at the
的。
volunteers
这
from
家人呢，他们
overseas.
人少
in the UK, everybody has good function and work hard on the volunteering. Let's give a big hand to our volunteer, Mr. Zhu. Since last time that our volunteer, Mr. Zhu, joined us on the online study group, and he asked us to give them one more chance to the overseas volunteer team. And due to the different time zone, there's difficulty to contact them online since there's 6 hours difference. So let's give a big hand to our volunteer, Mr. Zhu. It's very touchable that the volunteer, they overcome the time, the jet lag in different time zone to contact us, to join us on the online study group. Let's have a look. This is our volunteer, Miss Pei-Ling. We will see her through our webcam.
黄金草这个有需要吗？那没那么多。
我知道有哪一个，马上查那一个地方，一定要关他们静音。他们有一个地方。
还有就这样而已啊。连芝麻粉都没有。
会议。来，等一下，对不起哈。
没有芝麻粉呢。连坚果类的，还有坚果类的。
好，感恩哦。是非常的有趣，对不对？就是突然发现线连开以后呢，这中间呢，就是会有很多可爱的声音进来。好，但是现在我们可爱声音要响起了哦。好，我喜欢和你一起来，我喜欢和你在一起，因为你有正能量。
Now we contact with our volunteer, Miss Pei-Ling from Edinburgh, the UK. Okay, she's going to do the PowerPoint and share her experience with us.
是，他接过来啊。是，接过来，很棒，接得很顺利，很好。
Okay, so.
好，那我的声音听得到吗？可以，非常清楚，可以的。好，亲爱的上人，金色师父，全球的法亲家人，大家好。我是英国爱丁堡的志工蔡丽娜。上一次我法号慈心，那今天非常感恩美云师姐。邀约我来上这个高雄的读书会。高雄是我的家乡，所以我真是倍感亲切哈。
And thanks to our volunteer Miss Mei
今天我很想就是简单的和大家来分享一下我读上人心灵实境这一本书，还有我们在海外做慈济的一些心得。那首先呢，上人说菩萨是不为辛劳生苦而能济世救人的人。那菩萨的修行呢，虽说有10地阶段，但每一地均可相互增长而不冲突。那我觉得上人一路走来呢，他在为佛教、为众生的信念下，开创了慈济宗门，把佛法现代化、人间化和生活化，非常的有智慧。那他的心灵实境呢，就是在提醒我们要活在当下，与时俱进，时时静心，还要去自利利他，广结善缘。那么具体我们该怎么做呢？这就让我开始来想，怎么样子跟着
humanity. So how do we connect our volunteering job with the 10 grant of Bodhisattvas? First of all, from these 10 levels, the first one is grant of joy. And how can we connect with this? While we are organize a charity events, we are about to do the shopping, alms giving and donation, and matching goods, and writing 经师 alphorms, and cooking for others. promoting vegetarian food and get along with our Dharma relatives. Second, the ground of freedom from defilement. How do we connect with this level? There's sometimes we produce some trash after we do the cooking. So if we tidy up everything and do not influence our daily routine of our family, it's very important too. Besides, while we are discussing about the event of our volunteering, it's difficult to organize everybody's opinion. And we have to deal with diversity and avoid ignorance. The third level is ground of radiance. Mr. Zhenyuan tells us that we have to avoid the habit of self-sweeping. We have tried to do our best and to provide timely help to the people needed. So we have to give up our self-confidence and try to figure out who is the people needed our help with our warm-hearted and humble attitude. So we also, by doing this, we also enlightening their heart. The fourth level is the ground of brilliant wisdom. Mr. Zhenyuan says that we have to cutting up the delusions and gain the brilliant wisdom. It's not easy due to we are in overseas and we have to adopt the local culture and the laws. We have to respect the local people and we should we should not force them to adopt what we do. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and we have to perform acts of the ceremony. And it's difficult to provide timely help with respect and a balance of strength and weakness. The fifth level is ground of mastery of difficulty. Mr. Zhenyuan tells us that we have to understand the principle of true emptiness and wondrous existence by samadhi power, the concept of the two truths without conflicts. And here I'm going to show you the sixth level is the ground of manifesting wisdom. We need to behave ourselves as a man of great wisdom and often appear slow-witted. And we have to adjust to changes circumstance and overcome the difficulties. Due to every coin has two sides, all things are in a state of incessant change. We need to realize the impermanence and the settlement in wisdom. And we have to avoid the stereotype, never forget the original intention. And in the ground of the proceeding afar, Mr. Zhenyuan tells us that the importance of the skillful meanings in the profession and the concentrations between these two, there's a difference. And on the eighth level is the ground of a towering calm. Mr. Zhenyuan helped us to learn Buddha's teaching and not be distracted. We have to reduce our arrogance and make good affinity. Our Ziji world is a spatial place that all of the volunteer doing by learning the Bodhisattva's teaching from Buddha mind to the ultimate enlightenment and the Buddha's mind and the follow teacher's vow. And in the level ninth is the ground of discriminatory. We have to repentance and grateful proceed these two in our daily life. In the 10th level is the 10 the ground of Dharma cloud. By following our faith, vow, and practice, what we preach, we can walk on the Bodhisattva's path smoothly. And following these books, that is very useful on our Bodhisattva's path. And thanks everybody is listening. And thanks to our volunteer, Miss Tailina, our volunteer Cixin, and it's like 3:30 a.m. in the UK. Let's give her a big hand. She proceeds the book of from Master Zhen Yan. And dedicate these books meaning on the volunteering in the UK. And soon we are going to contact with our Italian volunteering. And we still have the volunteer from the North California and Shanghai and Malaysia. Thanks to our volunteer from Malaysia and our volunteer from Dalian and from Thailand. Thanks to our volunteer Miss Yu Ying. And thanks the supporting from the volunteer from Indonesia too. And also our volunteer from Canada.
So thank you for our audience from all over the world. Thank you for your response. If I didn't call your name, if I didn't call your name, please provide not only where you live, but also give us the feedback after you hear the our um, our sisters and brothers sharing. Okay, so also we are thank you for our sister from the Colum, and I know that Sister Yuru will be very nervous because she's the next sharing person. So give her a big hand. Let's welcome Sister Lin Yuru, dear Master, and all the members from Ciji family. I'm a Sister Lin Yuru from Sanming District in Kaohsiung. I would like to introduce the book named The Daily Journal of Dharma Master Zhen Yan from April to June in 2020. And the topic was eliminating evil and protecting goodness to protect the world. Since last year, the COVID-19 pandemic spread around the world till now, resulting in the cancellation of many big events. But the master said if we stop holding all the events, we might lose our enthusiasm for life and drop out guard. So based on the master's teaching, we need to um, use our time well to cultivate our mind and accumulate our wisdom and use the high-tech era. So because of that, all the fellow cultivators in Ciji, even though we live and the in all the world, we didn't know each other. So let's hear the teaching, watch the videos of Master Zheng teaching. Okay, so thank you, Master Zheng Yan. Besides the pandemic, last year from April to June, a lot of people, suffering from the imbalance of the nature's four elements. Because of the climate change and the rising temperature of Indian Ocean, the locusts had spread enormously, and that resulted in food crisis in East Africa and South Asia. As you can see, during May and September last year, there were floods caused by extremely heavy rain in 2,000 provinces in China. And we are going to the Arctic Circle. Usually, there's the coldest town in the Arctic Circle because of the global warming. Um, the average temperature was 13 degrees Celsius in the past. However, last year in June, the temperature was 38 degrees Celsius, and um, that even result in the um, permafrost melting and the damage of oil storage tank underground. So the severe leakage of oil made the pollution of rivers and lands. As the imbalance of the nature as well as one's master. Master tell people we must promote vegetarianism and speak about the importance of being vegetarian. So let's watch the video of Master's teaching. So where's the original source of the pollution? Um, Actually, the animal farming was the one of the major reason. We feed the pigs, all the animals. We we need a lot of land, the area to feed or to um, feed the animals. So if we can decrease our desires for food a little bit, because if we eat food, it's just only for a couple seconds. And actually, being vegetarian, you still can eat very full, being very full in each meal, and also you will feel very peace in your mind. Thank you, Master Zhenyan. Master taught us we need to we not on, we must to share about the knowledge, not only provide vegetarian meals, but also let people understand the reason of being vegetarian. We not only could decrease the temperature of the earth, but also do good deeds to create blessings for our own life. And this is the best way of setting animals free and carrying the bees. The masters taught us that we could not relax our efforts of saving sentient beings. Actually, we use a lot of Facebook. Uh, there's a lot of searching column, like for example, YouTube or Facebook. So if let me show you that I key in providing vegetarians meal and in the ITV. And once you search the videos, then you can share with others. If you click the button share, then you can choose the platform where you would like to share. And you just use the one finger to do that. And on the Facebook, you can follow the Tzu at Kaohsiung. And not only you can join this online study group every Wednesday, but also you can share great information with your friends and other like um, platform, for example, like Line or um, Telegram. You will receive posters, pictures, or videos. You can share with your friends according to her interests. For example, if she's a person without religion, you may share healthy issues of being vegetarians. They will feel more forward to hear that. Um, SG members have to abide by precepts. Uh, we should not forward any negative message. Um, we need to refrain from wrongdoings and from the Dharma. If you forward negative message, you are also do um, some bad things about your mouth. Uh, Only if we hear the master teaching and we practice into action, and actually um, the master is live in our mind. So let's read at the end. Let's read master's teaching together. Cultivating your body, mouth, and mind by learning Dhamma. And with the Dharma in our hearts, we can interact with our internal conditions, and we will feel peace, and also we can overcome difficulties with wisdom. Let's give her a big hand. She controlled the time very well, very precisely. So how we cultivate or how we train our sharing person, we start from let her to share in 3 minutes, and actually we are going to invite her in maybe the next month in June, and but the person that we set up for this month, she cannot come, and I asked her if she can come for earlier in this year, and she said yes. Uh, uh, so, she's one of the chairperson where all the audience from over the world the response. She was the chairperson, the leader of the the group that share um, s- res- collect the response from all over the world and share with me. So let's give her a bigger hand and let's give this young sister sister. She's doing the job very, very well. So she provide her information, data and resources very early. So, so thank you. That's a response from Nanjing in China. I'm very happy. I feel joyful. Uh, we also have families from Henan and also um, oh, this is the response from China. Thank you. I feel very refreshed. There's a lot of new information from this online group. Uh, Also, we are at Chenhan from Taichung. This is a elderly home care, a daily care center in Taichung. Let's say hi to them, to the elderly. Uh, hope that, hope that if we have, if yeah, if we feel beloved, we need to say it out. Good morning, everyone from over the world. I feel like very pleased, and I feel always look forward to join in the online group every Wednesday. Thank you, Brother Yuan. I thank you, Jianbing in Jiangsu from China, and other brothers and sisters in China. There's a family member's name, the ear of a bear. Oh, I hope, yes, thank you. I hope everyone learned a lot. And also in Penang, family members from Penang. And response from Taipei and Linda Ling and Chen Han in Fongyuan district in Taichung. Okay, so next, okay, now we are going to
So now
And now, let's give a big hand to our caring team from Pingtung, Pingtung Prison.
so now let's go to this part, gathering the lotus hearts. And because I make great vows, so let's go to this part, and we have been collected over 1,000 lotus hearts. And we have Linda in here from Jiangsu that says, she is worried about whether we can achieve this goal or not, but I'm confident that we are going to do so. And here we also have a sister from Indonesia. Do you know her? and she's Li Yu. And let's hear what she's talking about. I'm working very hard. And you know that I have made a lot of phone calls, so I almost lost my voice. And I've been doing so for collection of the lotus heart, and I still have a long way to go, like 2 more thousand people to collect. But I'm so lucky that a lot of people are joining and participating in this great event. And then I also collected like more, like 120 more people. So let's give her a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel very proud, and I want her to calculate how many members exactly she collected, and she said over 120. So it's really encouraging for me. So, she also has great assistant that helps her a lot. So if we have the great aspiration, then I believe that we are going to achieve the goal. And here, and we will know that a lot of her volunteers, like members from families, will be there in Thailand and doing good deeds with us. And when I'm telling her about this good deed, and that she just participated in me without any doubt, without hesitation. And she wants to also achieve the second 50 lotus, and she is confident to do it. And I'm very happy that she said that she is very happy to participate in a study group. And she also gathered like 97 lotus now for now. And, besides, volunteers themselves, and they also have their family members who are so willing to participate in the Lotus Sutra, the Lotus collection. And we are so happy, so let's give her a big hand, volunteers from Tainan. And yesterday, just by 9 o'clock, and I just heard the news from Indonesia, and they also have collected like 100 more lotuses, and I'm so happy that. And I have to say that the people can be powerless, but we have to influence people. And I'm just an elementary school teacher, and I don't have any rights, but I want to be the positive influence power toward people. I want the people to do good because we have so many disasters in the world now. So let's take a look so far today. Today is like April 7th, and we have collected 7,770 lotuses. I'm so happy. I'm not only grateful, but also so happy. I just cannot tell you how happy I am. And we have a lot of people. We have a lot of volunteers from Switzerland, Netherlands, the UK, Italy, and we have Filipinos, and we have a lot of volunteers from China, from Yunnan, and I forgot whatever. And if my number and my message is wrong, just tell me, please. So it is the encouraging card that I have dispatched through our groups, and thank you very much. So please encourage more people to download more about this and do the good deeds all together. And do you still remember this? And if we do good deeds and we have good lucks, and if we do the good deeds like drop by drop, and we can obtain peace and security. Now we really hope that we have more people doing good deeds all together. And again, then by now we have already collected more than 7,000 lotus, and we are going to do so, and we are doing so to make more people come in with us. Are you confident? If yes, then give me a big hand, please. So we need also power when you are giving me a big hands, and we are talking about something touching. Young people are telling me that they are collecting 3 more lotuses. How do they do so? They collect more people, and then they would like that each of the people, which would individual like donate just only $500. So now they have 3 lotus, right? And when big disaster happens, and then let's just not complain and let's just do good deeds instead. I think we can just spread the positive energy and we give hope because we are good. I dare say that we are good and we have power. So let's make people fearless, and love is not lonely. Okay, so let's read it 3 times. Okay, let's collect love and collect the lotus. And let's collect love and collect lotus. And let's collect love and collect lotus. Thank you very much. So now let's go to the monthly subject.
And today, the next we are going to proceed the series of the power of faith and from our Pingtung volunteer teams, and they are the carrying team for the Pingtung prison. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Zhen Yan, and all the volunteers who join our online study group. It's our pleasure to sharing our series, The Glimmer in the High Wall. We are the pioneer to join this series. And first of all, I'm going to introduce our carrying team, the volunteers. Our volunteer, these 6 volunteers. Our topic is the glimmer in the high wall, and the glimmer reminds me a discourse from our Master Zhen Yan. It says that it's nice to glitter and be warmed to others, but we need to be warm-hearted, but not too over to burn others. And first of all, I would like to introduce our volunteer, our instructor, Miss Yun Cai, and under her instruction, our volunteer team proceeds to the first decade from the 2011 till now. And let's listen to her sharing. Good morning, Master Zhen Yan and our Dharma relatives from all over the world and everyone who joined this study group. And I would like to share that to the people, our inmates, due to some circumstances, reasons that they are set into the prison. But I do believe that everybody has their own good affinity. So I try my best to inspire everyone's compassionate heart, following our Mr. Zhen Yan's teaching. And due to this reason, all the inmates that change their mind and they're learning and proceeding on the Bodhisattva's path and has great development. Thanks to our volunteer, Miss Yun Cai. She is the most senior volunteer in our team. And now this is our our volunteer, Mr. Wu Jingsen. He is not only the volunteer, he's also the sign language teacher in our team and also a documentary volunteer. In our group, it's small but functions well. So his works like the Atlantic water and the shimmer in our team. Good morning, Master Zhen Yan and our masters on the board and our Dharma relatives from over the world. I am Liao Jingshen and my and it's very specific, it's very spatial caused to make good affinity by the sign language. And now this she is the volunteer Miss Li Yan. She's also an excellent English teacher. She's going to sharing us the Jingshi aphorisms in English. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Master Zhen Yan and all the master on the board. It's my pleasure to join this volunteer team. I'm still senior in this group. I've joined this caring team just for 4 years. And I'm going to sharing you the Jingshi aphorism. The power of love is the most powerful than any other things. With loving heart, nothing is impossible. Let's read together. With loving heart, with a loving heart, nothing is impossible. Our Li Yan, our volunteer Miss Li Yan, uh, sh she teaches our inmates in the senior volunteer and in the juvenile correction schools. Her dedication is exactly like a glimmer in our juvenile correction schools. So now everybody please sit it. I'm the most senior volunteers in our caring team. And I have a joke I would like to share it to you. And it happens in my class in the juvenile correction schools. I care about everyone, what happens to them, why set them into the prison. And once I asked one student, what happened to you, why set you into the prison? And he answered me that in Taiwanese, I was set into the jail by the reason of selling medicine. And at the first time, I don't realize what it means in Taiwanese. I thought it's normal medicine, but in their language, it means the medicine means selling drugs. So actually, he was a drug dealer. So it's my small joke happening in the correction schools. I would like to share you that the glamour in this height wall. Few days ago that we keep seeing the news of the train accident in Hualien on TV. And how do we how do we devote ourselves in the prison? According to the book of the Outer Sutra, it says, as the light of a lamp can break up darkness which has been there for 1,000 years, so a spark of wisdom can do away with ignorance which has lasted for ages. So how can we proceed ourselves in the prison? Let me share that our topic of today's sharing is love and abstraction. How we Tzu Chi volunteer to devote ourselves in neighborhood to be the pioneer. Mr. Zhen Yan tell us that we have to be the glimmer. And have you ever noticed that while we see the video from Mr. Zhen Yan on TV, she's like our family and always care about everyone. And do you eat? And with she just acts us with caring heart, and this action is just like the glimmer. Once Mr. Zhen Yan visited the Pingtung prison, and we were standing there and waiting for her. And while she was coming, she tell us to come closer, don't stay outside for the strict sunlight. I think this is the glimmer from our Mr. Zhen Yan and the great attitude we need to learn. And this is what we need to follow Mr. Zhen Yan. And due to our Master Zhen Yan's reputation, every time we wearing the clothes and walks in the uniform and walks into the Pingtung prison, everybody, they show us their respect and by Master Zhen Yan's reputation, and thanks to this new uniform, and that everybody just like glitter in under Tzu Chi's reputation. Once I walk on a hallway on the prison in Pingtung, I see an inmate and I gave him a Tzu Chi bi-monthly. And then he didn't join our caring team on that time. And the next week, while I went there to the class again, he gives me a picture of our Tzu Chi bi-monthly picture. He just copied it and write and painting this and give it back to me. I do really cherish this and frame this picture in my room. This is the painting of lotus. Now I'm going to share you. Since 2011, our caring team started in Pingtung prison. We had the class once a week during that time, and after 1 decade, we have 4 class a week. Our team is not big. Our team is small, but our functions well. So it's our pleasure to join our volunteer Miss Mayun's study group. And this is the picture. Our first time, our caring team in Pingtung prison to join the sutra performers. And due to this good affinity of sutra performers, our prison is the first prison among Taiwan to join this activity. I'd like to share you. We bring the spirit of sutra performers into our teaching in the Pingtung prison. I'm going to sing part of our sutra performers. By great conviction that we can get rid of the sixth grade division in the will. Due to this sutra performance, it's very helpful and everybody can understand and remember the Buddha's teaching into our eight consciousness. And the power, the strength of conviction can help all of us to get rid of the sixth grade division in the will. And by singing this and by reading this, we understand that in Buddha's teaching, there's fragmentary life and death. There are two parts of day. One is the fragmentary life and death, and another one is a transformation life and death. By joining the sutra performance, we can make good affinity to all the inmates in the Pingtung prison. And now is the time's up, and thanks for your listening to my sharing.
好，也请这一排的家人向后退，来靠近你们的团队，好不好？好，也请我们来，对，好，也请我们团队稍微有这样的一个默契，当他们人多站在一起的时候，让他们靠得更紧密。
Okay, we thank you for the team sharing, and then we appreciate your coming and give us a positive energy. So even in the prison or in the camp, so we still can spread the Dharma teaching. And there's a upcoming Da'ai drama is talking about inmates, how he was inspired and become a become a Tzu Chi volunteer. So please stay with us. Once again, thank you for your sharing. Now I'm needed to respond to some of the feedback that we received earlier. Well, thank you for the volunteer from Malaysia. And we also received comments from Malaysia, like in the YouTube.
My energy with lows as I face difficult situation. Get play phone to know myself again.
And he said that every time from the online study group, he always can learn so much, and then he learned her appreciation, and he was inspired a lot.
他写了非常多篇哈，然后他是 greetings and best wishes from the 慈济台东 with
And now we have a message we received from overseas volunteer. He gave us his best blessing, and to hope that the disaster that just happened a few days ago, the passenger train derailed disaster, and he gave us his best wish and hope that everyone can go through it as well. And then we also have the message, we also the comments received from mainland China. And we also have the comments from Wuxi. And then we have the message from Erlan. And she said that whenever my sister Mei called her name, and she was touched. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to participate the fundraising of the lotus flower. And appreciate the volunteer from Canada. We feel very comfortable whenever we heard your sharing. And now we're going to move on to the next section. It's the catching phrase and the recap. So let's move on to the recap. We thank you, Sister Liang Jing, who is also the Tzu Chi school principal in Canada. She always creates a short recap on each section on the online study group. And now this is the recap from Zhou Ruixing in Beijing. Starting from the section letter we call out to Zhong Xian about the Tzu Chi's free cleaning effort in Thailand. And also from Master Zheng Yan's diary, we learned that an elder volunteer who was 93 years old devoted himself to Tzu Chi until the end of his life. And also touched by Qing Zhong and Sister Su Rui sharing, and the young Kaohsiung drama team and the entrepreneurs of Kaohsiung are all the good disciple Master Zheng Yan's. So now let's read the recap from America. Brother Wang Zhongxian gave us a sharing about the free cleaning for the refugee in Thailand. And then we learned from Brother Qin Zhong and Sister Rui how they recruit a large numbers of Tzu Chi members. And we are impressed about the volunteers from Shanxi to promote environmental protection. And Kaohsiung entrepreneurs recruit donors to support the Da'ai station. And one counselor came to share her testimony. The young Jing's drama team talk about their hard work to conduct the year-end blessing concert. And then in the end, both sisters Pei-Ling and Xue Yu express their appreciations about learning so much from online study group, so that they feel confident and willing to take more responsibilities nowadays. So let's give a little bit hands. So all the recap, the catching phrase team, you are so great.
And most people here are people we don't know, but when we go to the doctors, and if we go to Dr. Tsai, then you will know how good he is, like a doctor. And actually, when Mr. Zheng Yan visited Taichung, and he really has a lot to report to Mr. Zheng Yan. And when we see people with like acute diseases, and we have a Sen-Wei, and he really does very much to protect all the patients. And this is a very important thing for people for rehabilitation. And when they are still in their consciousness, and it is important to kill them. And you know, and when I read like his briefing, and I feel, oh my God, this is so amazing. And you will see not only just a little baby, not only just a patient, then as a rehabilitation chief, and he is more than just a doctor. And applying the cocktail therapy, and they really cure this little baby. And this is injection through their brain, and it works very well. And we have like a cells blood inside the blood, and it improves and it creates the energy for their tissues in their body. And you see how happy the father is. And what else can a doctor do? And when people suffer from insomnia, and they also go to him. Yeah, so the doctor is very busy, right? And when we see someone in such a specific field, and actually we know that he can actually do no more than just his professional field. And he realized that he can help people with sleeplessness. And when it's time to sleep and I just go to bed, and it's amazing that I don't feel dizzy anymore. And for this, when we have to carry more oxygen in people's blood, and if we can do more and we can improve their health. So do you feel very touched? So ladies and gentlemen, when you are in sleepless, go to him, please. And can he help me with my spine? Of course, right, he can. So I'm just astonished though, like why he can almost do everything. Okay.
Do you feel very touched when even when we have insomnia, we could also go to see Dr. Tsai? And I always wonder why Dr. Tsai can treat all kinds of disease. And when I got stuck, I felt a pain, and I couldn't lift up my foot. I didn't know how amazing you are. And we were put up these all the videos online for, so every one of us will be able to gain this knowledge, medical knowledge. And when you do exercise, all kinds of exercise, you will hurt your knees. That's the knees of normal people. And we could do this exercise to grow the muscle strength in the quadricep. So in the arms raisers, we're very grateful for ITV. And you will be able to see that even this old lady with hunchback, she could go through the exercise to improve her condition. We're very grateful that this video made by ITV. So they could do this exercise. It's just like a cobra yoga pose. And we can open our arms to lift up our chest. And we don't need to do it to lift up too high. It's depending on your current condition. You could do it for several times. First, 3 to 5 times, and then you could increase. Over time, you could increase to 20 times. The first time I've seen him, at Tima. And he was the leader of the retreat. And he wear mask over the Tima conference, and I couldn't even see his face. And now it's probably it's the first time that I see clear his face. At the Tima conference, and he mentioned about how he became vegetarian, and it touched my heart. When I received the PowerPoint for this sharing, I admire him so much. We download the videos of online, go over the video online. I respect him even more because he could he could treat so many kinds of illness. Many people have discomfort. Some even with a severe illness. All the patients could go to see Dr. Tsai, and he is the rehabilitation department in Ziji Taichung Hospital. Dr. Tsai Sen-Wei. Dear Dharma Master Chen Yan and Dharma Master, good morning. Oh, I didn't know that. When they are doing the review about me, I didn't know that they were talking about me because I've done so much. I don't even remember. When I recall, when I go to see my classmates, when I met my classmates or old friends, they always say that, oh, you changed so much. You look different. And can you take a guess how old I am? Many people say that I'm only 30 years old. And some people even say that I'm a chairperson of the rehabilitation department. I'm only 30 years old. Was I too young to be the chairperson? Oh, it was a thought came into my mind that I want to become vegetarian. My wife went to Tzu activities with me, and we had a meal together. And then a Japanese friend came to visit us. And the Japanese like to eat the fresh seafood. So people would always eat the seafood was fresh when the fish were and seafood was still alive. So we ate a fresh alive crab. So it hit my heart because I thought about that. I learned in Tzu Chi that all the sentient beings need to have an opportunity to cultivate their heart. And how come I didn't give this crab a chance to cultivate his heart? So all the sentient beings have a Buddha nature. I believe that, and I'm pursuing and trying to get in touch with my Buddha nature. So I started wanted to become vegetarian. And when I used to be a doctor that only take a look at the evaluating the numbers that I get, I evaluate my patient condition based on the numbers. But now I use the heart with gratitude, not only focus on how much that I make, how much money I make, but I also pay attention to how I alleviate the pain from all the patients. What kind of method of measurement remedies that I use to alleviate the pain, it would affect how my patients feel. And can you recognize this Chinese character? These are the Chinese character that talk about Dr. Tsai. And these are from the master of calligraphy. He had difficulties in he has a pain in his shoulder for many years, chronic pain, and he couldn't lift up his shoulders uh, to do the brush painting, writing in Chinese. So that bothers him so much. And after 2 to 3 visits to my office for treatment, and he felt so much better. The condition would improve, and he could start doing the paintbrush writing in Chinese, calligraphy writing. Some people they are afraid that if they go visit the rehabilitation department, it would take them a long time to really improve, get the improvement of their condition. But we would do our best to reduce the time of rehabilitation. And some people would be afraid that after they get the shot, they it might have a side effect. And sometimes, yeah.
Now, let me introduce you, what kind of injection do the doctors usually give you. And number one, we have a kind of injection that looks white. Well, and injections, shows you, okay, gives you many different colors. And when patients visit me, we usually have to give them shots. Okay, and maybe one shot or two more shots. And maybe patients go to Darling Surgery Hospital or go to whatever hospitals. And some patients were asked that why they just go so far away and to one specific hospital and they get cured. And I just heard that a lot of like volunteers, especially volunteers who like to do so. I think it is because they're confident toward some specific doctors, right? And let's go here, and we have a kind of injection that look white, and it is a body chart, and you will see adrenal glands, which will secrete like something. And so this is why we have to give the injection which look white. And I think everybody don't like the steroid. And if we give the steroid injection, and maybe it will cause like osteoporosis. And of course, then I will just introduce you more injections. And for example, if you suffer from like knee problems or you suffer from like a hunch problems, and we will have a different therapist for you. And we don't give you most expensive therapists, but we give you the most suitable ones. And once the therapists are good for a patient, then we'll just apply them. And a lot of people don't like a steroid, and this is wrong. And because if we don't give you like too much, and it's gonna be okay. One example is that we say that the next like some food are very expensive, but you don't eat like 3 meals a day, right? Because you won't like it. And a lot of like a side effects would happen, of course, after we are injected a steroid, but it depends on the dosage. And some people just go running, and maybe they will have a knee problems, and the problem will just go worse. So actually, like everybody has different situations. Like some have like spurs in their knees, and some have spurs somewhere, but some are okay. And we just explain their individual problems. And so I know that everyone like to be checked there and to see what their problems are mostly. Therefore, then okay, so do you know that different people have different like a medical history, and maybe they don't even know this themselves. They just know that they got some kind of a degenerative problems, or they just get some like problems towards their like bones or cartilages, or like a knee, like a joints there, or they suffer from like degenerative arthritis, or they just know that they have a pain somewhere and they don't know whether it's severe or not. Okay. And if I give them some kind of therapy, it may just, be a little bit effective to them. But the problem is the degenerative problem is still there. So I have to face so many problems there. So I have to like give different therapists toward the different individuals. I just want you to get better. And you see here, then this is the injection which look white, and this is a patient who is over 50 years old, and he just told me that he has like knee pain, and I just give him an injection toward his knee. Okay, so where does the injection reach? So let's take a look at the video. And for like outdoor clinics, now we have a machine, and this is an ultra like a sonic machine here. And after we examine the patient situation, then we have to deal with some specific problem which may be emergent. And you will see there is an injection that look white. And you see from this computer monitor, and do you see like there's something white, and it is inflammation. And this is a patient who is over 100 years older, and she suffers from like degenerative arthritis. Therefore, we have to treat her inflammation first. And because she also suffer one more problem, that is osteoporosis. So we have to deal with so many problems like at the same time. And after I give her a shot, and she can just walk like this in a video. And she can also, stretch her leg. And and this is kind of, this is my method toward some acute symptoms. And we just want the patients like feel good as long as they come over. Okay, and if they don't have time for rehabilitation, then I will just do so. However, I have to say that rehabilitation is very, very important. And rehabilitation doesn't mean that you just come for a while and just do some exercise. No, and if we can do this through some kind of offer, like a ultra, like like a sonic guide, then we can use like a steroid. And let's not talk about what kind of injection, because people are usually confused. And you just see the injection, they look white, they look red. But I ask the patients like what the injections are, and they just don't know. And let's go. And we also have some kind of injections that look just sticky, and they look transparent. And actually, that is the hyaluronic acid injection. And when our like a medication is getting better now, okay, and we can have such like a hyaluronic acid injection like 3 times a week. And for example, from this chart and from this, and we can see, the knees that suffer from like degenerative arthritis here. And as time just passes, as time just goes by, and our knee will just be worn out. It's just like a car that need to be repaired, and it's the car of which the tires would just be worn out, of course. And so rehabilitation helps to provide a method that people can just get cured without any operation. And when we give like injections, then we can also use like the supersonic guide. So let's take a look at this video. And we will just, touch a little bit around your knee. And you can just touch your knee, then you will feel this kind of a little bone around there. And around this area, then we can give injections. And the patient just lie down so they don't feel pain. They just feel a little bit sore. So let's take a look like how we give injections. It's gonna be fast. And for the first time, and maybe patients will just feel afraid because we are doing this injection into their knee areas. And you can see the whole process. It will just take you 1 or 2 minutes. And if you are relaxed, then the whole process is gonna be very smooth. So it is really common places for rehabilitation department. And if you are like around 20 to like 30 years old, it's also possible that you get injected through like a higher neurotic acid injections. And clinically, and if we are sure that it's a problem within your joints, and we will just do this. And one more example is that we have a student who are going to like a police school, and they have to be trained like jogging. But therefore, then the student just got knee problems, and therefore he came here to me. And I just gives individual suggestions toward each patient. And here we have like a prolotherapy, and the prolotherapy is an injection that looks like water, and also it is steroid-like.
We make sure that it's a problem in the joint. And this is an example. And a student wanted to get into the police school. And so we gave him a hyaluronic acid injection to improve his knee condition so he could pass through the entrance exam of police school. And the next one is a very, very famous a new remedy is called prolotherapy. And it's like it's transparent like the water. And proliferate is the high concentration of glucose, and also with the vitamin 12. And we draw blood out from patients, and also under the guidance of a supersonic, and we'll do the injection of the glucose, high concentration of glucose into the affected area of the body. And sometimes there's erosion of cartilage, and we inject this proliferant into the affected area, and it inflames. So we inject the proliferate would improve the could induce the healing of the area of with pain and inflame. And with this supersonic guidance, because we will be able to see very clear where we are supposed to put put the shot injection into which area, we will be able to identify the exact location of injection. And when there's a place with that are inflammatory, and there might be strain or a sprain. And some people, some elder people, if they have osteoporosis, and it might not work as well. So it would depends on you would have to see the doctor to have the doctor to evaluate. There's not all kinds of different various treatment. They are not one kind is better than the other kind. It would depends on your condition, and each treatment is fit for all the treatment fit for different conditions. So the stem cell is different from the bone marrow stem cell. Platelet is platelet, and we not in the recent years we know that the platelet has high concentration of growth factors. So the platelet, we found that the platelet, and in the recent year, the platelet was found to have a very high concentration of growth factors. So it would help the wound to heal and regrowth. So the hyaluronic acid is to help regrowth. So how do we distinguish which kind of treatment that we want to take? So when we draw out blood from patients' vein, we need to extract various growth factors. There are 9 kinds of growth factor in the platelet. But to treat a different condition, we need to extract different growth factor from these 9 categories. So some people even can use this proliferant to help improve the knee problem, and also these Achilles muscle, and also and sometimes we might be able to use a various combination of all these with all these growth factors. And we could also help improve the relax of this nerve system. And one patient came in with a shoulder pain, and he couldn't fall asleep. So there's a compression on the nerve. And when you touch the shoulder, when you try to inspect on the appearance, you won't be able to see anything from her shoulder. But after I gave her injection in the nerve, and now the condition improved. And let's take a look at the video. And the white area, and something's moving on the screen. It's the needle, and we need to would have the patient to take a look at the screen, so they will be able to see what we are doing on their body. So we inject the solution into the nerve, and sometimes there's compression on the nerve, and they feel very acute pain. And the patient, during the treatment, the patient will be able to see from the supersonic film. And, and there is another very expensive shot. In the plastic surgeon clinic, they would use this botulinum toxin. Usually, people use this as plastic surgery to reduce the wrinkles. But in our rehabilitation department, we are not like a plastic surgeon. We use this botulinum toxin not to reduce the wrinkles, but we use it to treat some condition. Actually, this it's very toxin. It's very toxin. And it was long time ago. It was originated from this bacteria was originated founded in the sausage. So it is toxin. So it would numb our muscle, and the muscle would be lack of oxygen. And even if you have a dosage that is too high, then you would have the a breathing difficulty. The reason that it would help reduce the wrinkle is because that your muscle is numb, and your muscle is not movable anymore. And now let's take a look at this patient. She suffered from the dystonia, and it's an involuntary muscle contraction. Involuntary muscle contraction, and it was caused by her nerve. It's not by her. She cannot control her movement. And after the injection, her muscle won't be contract involuntary, so she will be able to control her hand and her gesture and her movement by her brain. And she used to say that she used to be afraid that she need to visit doctors every 3 months, and it would be very bothersome. And we communicate with her and let her know that we'll try our best to reduce the period of treatment. And so we treat our patients from children to the elder people over 100 years old. And some people suffer from cerebral palsy. They cannot control the muscle movement. And let's take a look at the next case. A little patient And when you communicate with this little child, you ask him or her to use their muscle. They wanted to, but they cannot control their own muscle. And let's take a look at this little patient. And he used to be, when he was little, he couldn't control his muscle, and now he's in the junior high school now. After our treatment, he could go to school and he could walk on his own. And in Taichung, we have the we we started establish a photo therapy department, and we will induce the we will induce various kinds of treatment to our department. And there's a laser irradiation intravenous shot, and it's the intravenous laser irradiation is great to help relieve the insomnia. I cannot say that we will treat the insomnia for 100%, but it would help reduce the release the condition. And this is a patient who, after came to our office for half year, her condition improved greatly.
可是我也不晓得他要怎么去呈现。可是今天让我们知道说，哦，原来哦，这个部分这是有良心的医生，所以让我们非常清楚明白。所有的医生都是有良心的。哦，对对对对对对对对对，好，是我太棒了，学院长就是学院长，智慧高。
That's my sharing.
在这个当下呢，其实让我们更去清楚明白。
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Tai. Now we realize we realize that people we can move our hands freely or intentionally by our mind. It's very lucky. It's a very lucky thing after watch the videos. So I'm wondering if like I need any injection while on my any muscle of my mouth or face. Based on according to the doctors sharing from their professionality, we can realize more and more details during for our health in our daily life. So if you don't know him in the past, please raise up your hand. Don't feel sad about that. Now, after this speech, you like him very much. Please wave your hands. So let's give him a big hand because we like you and because you have a positive power. So next time if I go to see you, please provide a good service for me. So thank you, Dr. Tai. Yeah, we have a lot of feedbacks through the online. A person, audience from Shandong. We can hear the speech from the Thai, and we know that information. And Sister Yusini and another audience said that the family, the group in Pingtung, thank you for your sharing. We can see the light and then shine the dark. Thank you, sister from Shanxi. And also brother Sun in China. Uh, I feel very lucky and beloved after listening all the sharings. Please give forgive me if I didn't call your name.
几乎每一周都是上线用信以后呢，还甚至看微
Uh,
博给我们这
thank
样一个
you,
善效应哈。所以上一次我们讲，
our
我觉得
brother
对
and
于我们
sister
两位
join us
两
every
个
week,
信众，他们这样的资深，然后却是如此的谦卑，还不死
brother
不赖，
Ling,
给予
and
这样的一个鼓励，他们写了下来哈，让大家选。同时，他还去
he's
回应，
very
就是他们
humbled.
回来的时候呢，
Um,
实际上都是这一群人到桃园他们在
he
招呼呢。然后
rem-
林军，我们在
has a
10万七千里
memorized
的心情是开
memorized
花的。
that
他说上一次的时
in
候，
the
他心情
past,
是比较荡到谷底的，所以没
and
有到
sister
素食
Sun
店去陪。那他每天呢都是很忙，不是在做慈济，就在做慈济的路上。
he
所
felt
以呢，他觉得自己的
depressed.
能量没有的时候，还好他就是跟我们因为连上线，
She's
连上线以后，他觉得自己有
she's
能
very
量在释放。
busy
而且林
in
军是
doing
把
all the
我们的
charity work,
线上
or
读书会
she's
的
very
剪
busy
辑
going
以
to
后
do
呢，
the
就是
charity
带
work.
到他们的敬老院的，也就是我们的长照班的，还有带到素食区。所以在这个地
So
方真的是非
they
常感
will
动哈。所以大家对
edit
我们如
the
此的支持，我
videos
们给
from
国
the
外掌
online
声拍
study
拍手，
group
好不好？
and
好，那
um, share
接
the
下来今
videos,
天
the
要到辽
edited
宁去了，哇，
videos
辽宁的这一位古
at
道
their
哈，我也
activities.
是觉得太
Okay,
神
so
奇了哈。
now we are going
大
to
家在疫情的
Liaoning.
时候到底志工能做
Uh,
什么？大家看一下。
it's very so we are going to see what we can do during the pandemic. As you can see, they need to put on a lot of
对，你看背
clothes
后
and
是这样子
protections
的哦。
while um, they're going to the hospital during the pandemic. Um, even though they put a lot of clothes or protecting clothes, the
好，
temperature
非常感恩哈，
inside
这
is
是我们
very
的
low,
粉
so
莲，
the
是慈
hands
莲，
will
到
still
哪
feel
里人尽
still
人爱，所以呢，
frozen.
这样也去做资源哈。所以在这样脱下来的时候，
No
你看
matter,
这个就是一
even
个
though
很
they are
光
not
荣的一个印记哈。
medical
在这边，让我们
professionals,
看到了我们的会
but
员脱下来以后呢，我们看
Tzu Chi
看
people
这
were
样子的一个防护衣，我们
everyone
就
loved Tzu Chi volunteers. Sister
真的
Sun said in the video that
生命共同
everything
只能
actually
靠自己，所
is
以其实都是
relative
非
to
常重要的哈。
myself.
那么另外呢，我们可以
So
看到的
everyone
是
is
陪伴
connected to
人
each
生的
other.
力
We
量
need
哈。
to
其
save
实
our
这位
lives.
妈妈，
And we also can see
我想在这一段
the
时间
power
呢，因为
of a
太两个事
company.
件呢，他们渐渐的
As
这
you
一
can
些
see
家属的亲人已经
on
回
the
到他
video,
们各区了，所以
and
我们其实
also
全省各地
um,
都已经在
uh,
开始展开这样的
hear
一个
the
怎么样，这样的一个
accidents
陪伴了
from
哈。那
the
大陆
Hualien,
这
the
边的陪伴也是不
train
少的，因为呢，他就
accident
是
in
失
Hualien
掉了
last
儿子，所以
few
其实他们
days.
就是这样陪着，
We
然后
can
陪到
see
他
that
能够这样子出
on the
来，
videos.
然后这个时
A
间
lot
并
of
不是
people
短短下
lost
来蛮
their
长的。
sons or
后来呢，
family
这位妈
members
妈其
during
实
the
跟我们
accidents
帮
or
忙环保，她
because
不
of the
是黄的，
illness.
而且随时呢也笑
Uh,
脸迎人的哈。所以其实
and the
这个陪
mother
伴都是
lost
非常
her
非常的
son.
一个重要的哈。那同时
So
呢，
and after
我们看到
accompanied
会议的
by
里
the
面，其
volunteers,
实
the
这
mother
有一个视频是
went
他
to
当
the
那个
recycling
会
station
议
in
的时候，
Tzu
可是现在我们看龙卷风，当龙卷风的时候，我们呢所有的家人也是要进
So
去
as you
关
can
心，然后呢
watch,
到
as you
这
can
样的一
see
个
on the
地方呢，
video through the
那他们
videos,
那边的所谓
there's
的副
the
主任呢，就开始
um,
跟我们去互动，告诉我们他们需要什么。可是重要的是这一则新闻，请大家注意
Hurricane
听哦。
tornadoes.
职工将等当地政府
Um,
提供房屋受损清单，再做后续家访，了解灾民的实际困难，然后给予
um,
经济资助，
the
陪伴他们
volunteers
共度难关。
will
大新闻
visit
记者职工
the
苏丽云
families
你会发现
damaged by
机
the
会，
hurricanes
它
and
就
then
是人文
wait
真
for
善
the
美哈。所以每一
list
个人来到慈济以
um,
后，其实可以展现这样
wait for the
多
list
好。
from
我
the
们真的
government
还是可以跟
and
大
then
家分享
provide
一下，所以
services
声
or
音很直
provide
接，直接
help
辽宁
to the
来
families.
跟慧颖上线了哈。
Uh,
我喜欢和
sorry,
你在
because of
一
the
起，
lack of
因
the
为你
time,
有正
so we
能
are
量。
going
好，
to
辽宁
ask
的慧颖
the
的另外一个
Sister
菩
Sun
萨，感
in
恩。
from
好，姐姐
Liaoning
说
to
了，
share their story.
感恩感恩，亲爱的上人、金色师傅、全球慈济书友们，大家好，
Dear
我
masters
是沈
and
阳慈济职工苏慧
masters
颖，
from the
我是
ADOP
王
and
慧
the
儿，我
families
们
in
来
the
一起分享
from
一
over the
段发
world.
生在我们之间的故事，那
I'm
就
a Sister
是
Sun
爱是
and
人间最好的
Miss
药。
Wang. We're going to
无常
share a
的人
story
生常常伴着不
between
可预
us,
测的因
and
缘。
the
2018
topic
年
is
12
love. The
月，
is the
王慧
best
儿与慈
medicine in
济
the world.
结缘，18岁的儿子小
So
鹏
improving the
为
life always accompanied with unpredictable
被照顾儿子
affinities.
失去了工作，
So
亲戚也渐渐远
Wang
离，
He's son
巨额的医药费
um,
用，骨髓
had
移植愈寻
leukemia in
艰难，以及从医
2018.
生那里得知病情危险，
So
更是刺
because
打
of
着王鹤
the
的内心。
huge amount of
铁
medical
娘主动
costs
走进了王鹤
and the
的家，
difficulties of
为母
matched
子
bone
及
marrow
时提供了生活的
and
补助。
also
半年的
Miss
陪
Wang
伴，让
heard
王
the
鹤对
news of
职
the
工慢慢
severity
敞
of
开
the
心
illness.
扉。王鹤说，
She
孩子
felt
生病
very
得到了实际
depressed
的帮助，我
and
不知道该怎样回报。那职工就鼓励他
so
把这一
after
份感谢
company
力所能及的帮助
by the
到身边的
volunteers
人。
for
事
half a
情没
year,
有大小，每一
Miss
日
Wang
一
opened
个助
her
人的
mind
善
to
念，就是慈
volunteers.
济竹筒岁月的精神。
So, and
那
she
隔
said she
周，
don't know
王鹤
what
分
she
享
can do
自
in
己如
return.
何帮
So the
助隔壁
volunteers
病房的患者洗衣服，
encourage
帮
her
助患
to
者找医
help
生，
other
去协
people
调困惑
nearby.
等等的事情。
And a
他
good
说，
thought of
能帮助
helping
别人
people
的感
every
觉
day
真
is
好。
the value of
职工和
Tzu
王
Bamboo
鹤互
Bank.
相拥抱，
So she
那是职
started
工6
to
个月以来
um,
第一次看
other
到他脸
patients
上的笑容。
live in the
2019 年
next
8月，
bed
小朋
to
友
do the
因家重
laundry,
往
to
生
help
了。
the
那
find the
17位职
doctors
工
to
陪着
solve
王
the
鹤和小鹏
problems.
爸爸
And she
送了
felt
孩子最
very
后一
good
程，
of
慈
being
济人的温暖
of helping
再一
people. So
次
that's
真
the
正
first
打动了
time
王鹤。
the
他不停地给
volunteer
职工发
saw
信
the
息，
smile on her
感
face
谢
after
慈
6
济。
months.
但是从那以后，
So she
王鹤
sent the
悄悄阴
message to
影
the
把自己封闭起来。他
volunteers
后来
and
回忆说
she
道，
said,
那
"Thank
个
you,
时候我不
Tzu
想见到任何让我想起这段时间的人和事，我希望这些回忆能够渐渐消
But
失。
after her
那
son
金丝
passed
雨
by,
成为了
she
职
felt
工与王鹤
depressed
每天的
and
第
she
一句问候。
isolated
早
herself
饭有
from
没
the
有多吃一
outside
点？
world.
白
She
天帮
said she
厦门
didn't
散散步。
want to see anyone or
职工同
anything
时借由
relate
着
to
带点
those
水
past
果的机
days.
缘，
She
对
hoped
他笑容说说
those sad
话，
memories could
慢慢的邀约
disappear.
他出来参加读书会，
So
做
the
环保，
volunteers
做香
used
鸡。
Jingsi
有一次，王鹤
aphorism
在参加活动中，
to
突
greet
然
to
病
her
倒，被
and
送到了
to
医院。
care if
职
you
工的
should
爱就
take
像
the
温暖的阳
medicine,
光，
and
围
she
绕在
asked
王鹤的
Miss
身
Wang
边。
to go
职
downstairs
工在
and
住院
take
期
a
间不
walk.
断的陪护，出
And
院后半个月更是
she
轮流为
asked
他
the
来做饭，
volunteer
陪
invite
伴
her
照
to
顾。
join the
在家乡约了一起
study
包
group.
饺子，与王
And
鹤独
there
处
was
灵养。
one time that Miss
对
Wang
儿子的思
suddenly
念
fainted
总是让
during
王鹤伤
attending an
心落
event.
泪，
So
职
she
工
was
一边
sent
为
to the
他擦拭眼
hospital,
泪，一边轻声抚慰。
and the
正是因为
volunteers'
有
love
孩
is just
子，
like
我
a
们才能够走
warm
进慈济，
sunshine.
把天下的孩子都当成自己的孩子去关怀照
And
顾，
sometimes
那就是对儿子最
Wang
大的祝
He
福。
will feel very, very
很
sad
好
and with
后，
tears, and
王
while
鹤开
she
始入府访
think
视，
of her
他带
son.
来
So
儿
the
子小鹏的
volunteer
玩
wiped
具
her
送给
tears and also
关怀户的
comfort
孩子。
her and told her that
在孩子们的笑
because
声
of your
中，他
son,
感受到了
and
幸
so
福。
we can have
虽然在
connection
付出
and
中
you can come walk
找
into
到了欢
Tzu.
喜，
So you
但是
you
时
can
常还
try
是会
to
被
treat
猛然间对儿子的思
all the
念击打
child,
得
any
粉碎。
child as your
4公
own
分的陪
child
伴让
to
他走
take
出
care of
生
him.
命的低
And
谷。
I think that's
有一
the
天，
biggest
王鹤满脸是泪
blessing
的
to
问：
your own
所
son.
有的亲人都不管我了，你为什么就是抓住我
So
的手不放呢？
one
职工
day,
紧紧拉着王鹤的手说： 我
Miss
知道
Wang
你心里
asked
苦，但
the
再难你也
volunteer
要
with
坚持走过去。
volunteer
就
with
像在访视中你
tears.
看到的阿
So
强，他自己
why
领悟
did
到
you
了，
still
就
stay
开
with
始
me
感染到更多的人。
even when
有一
all
天
my
你也觉
relatives
得我
had
活得
left
这么
me
有意义。
behind?
王鹤开始发
So the
愿承
volunteer
担环
hold
保
her
站站
hand and
长，
said that
从
I
此奋
know
力
you
无
feel
阻，
very painful
坚
in
守
your
环
hearts,
保站。下
but
面
you
就
still
请
need
王
to
鹤来分
persist
享自
in
己的心得。
overcome
感
all the
恩
difficulties.
感恩上人是上人的法，
So
给
and
了我
then
人
one day
生的
you
希
will
望和方向，
live in such
让
a
我明
meaningful
白
life.
了人生的
So
意
let's
义
ask
就是
Miss
知
Wang to
足、
share her
感
story.
恩、付出无所求。感恩慈济是
After
家人们无私的
hearing the
爱和陪
master's
伴，
teaching,
给了我温
Thank you, Master Jen. Because of your teaching, you give me the hope and the direction of my life, and let me realize the meaning of my life is to being contentment, and being gratitude, and also giving without asking anything in return. And I would like to, I vow to be a good disciple of Master Zhen Yan. I will follow your teaching. I will learn and wake up early and then learn the Dharma every day. And I will do the recycle with my heart, eat vegetables and with my heart. I will pay more diligently and walk on the path of Bodhisattva and practice Tzu Chi mission step by step. Thank you, Miss Wang and Sister Sun. And I saw you are very confident, and thank you very much. And wish you can follow us and stay with us on the path of Tzu Chi mission. So I feel appreciate that you can devote yourself and the recycling station. Thank you, and please give them a big hand, and hope you will be stay healthy. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the response from China. This it's very cold outside right now, and it's below 6 degrees. And in England, it's also very cold and frozen. Oh, let us know what's the temperature in Italy. Oh, thank you, people from China, and join us online. I always we saw her, then we can feel their energy. Okay. So the members, the audience here and online, let's stand up and do the exercise. Let's follow their lead and exercise our body.
吃东西前勤洗手，回到家也要洗刷刷，眼耳口鼻不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸。洗手记得7步骤，内外夹攻大力丸，人多时候戴口罩，进入密闭空间也戴口罩，不要用时会折好。 乖乖的放口袋书包，眼耳口鼻不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸。洗手记得7步骤，内外夹攻大力丸，拱手不握手，保护你也保护我。
朋友们，你们学会
了吗？
我们准备
加快速度，再一次喽！ 龙头啊，开又关，洗洗双手要擦干。吃东西前勤洗手，回到家也要洗刷刷。眼耳口鼻不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸。洗手记得7步骤，内外夹攻大力丸。人多时候戴口罩，进入密闭空间也戴口罩。 不要用时会折好，乖乖的放口袋书包，眼耳口鼻不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸，不乱摸。洗手记得7步骤，内外夹攻大力丸。哇，先给自己一个掌声哦！好，随时都要提醒自己，做到保护自己，也要保护别人。接下来呢，要带大家。 稍微做一下伸展操，来，双手借给我，身体自然摆动，转手花慢慢上来，手腕转一转哦。好，来反方向转下来，身体放轻松。好，我们要准备是单手往前推，好，来，单手往前推，推出去的手要伸直哦。 继续，继续，很好，加油！好，我们准备往上推，好，来往上，稍微膝盖有一点蹲起，蹲起，蹲起，蹲起，手要向上延展，很好，加油！准备要蹲飞喽！来，蹲飞，往上，打开，下来。 脚也要往旁边，脚尖点一下，让我们的身体延展一下哦。很好，很好，来，双手只要跟你的肩膀一样高就好。好，我们准备再转手花来，身体很轻松的、慢慢的摇动，来往上转手花。好，来反方向转下来，回到中间，准备从头了。你说我很好，也可以唱出来哟。以后有你靠，很美的一首歌哈。我要继续，手要往前推。你是王子，我当宝。好，准备往上来，往上蹲起，膝盖的微微往下蹲一点点就好。我说有爱，你讲听拢无。好，我们要准备要来蹲飞咯。来蹲，张开双翅，打开。来第二个，打开。再两个，往上。最后一个。准备张开双手来开，脚尖往侧面点，手打直，跟你的肩膀一样高就好。很好哦，加油！好，我们准备由中间画个圆，很慢很慢的继续来第二个。还有两个哦，来再上来，很大很大的圆，最后一个，好，单手给我，左手右手，左手右手，再来继续，漂洋过海来爱你。大家请慢慢坐下，慢慢坐下。活动组祝福大家健康、活力旺，心态健康。
Thank you very much. And after Dr. Tsai's sharing, and after our exercise, and some people online ask our Dr. Tsai like whether tetanus works also, and of course yes, right. We have a message from Beijing, and it says that thank you very much for us, right? And also a message says Dr. Tsai is really good. And we also have like a message says that her husband is Dr. Tsai, and Dr. Tsai really gave her a new life. And this is a great sharing from Dr. Tsai. And if you want to come over from China to Taiwan, and it's kind of far away, although we have a great doctor here, then we have Zhou Ruixin from Beijing saying that it's going to be great sharing, and we also have a great message from Guangxi. And it says that it is really touching that we have like good mothers with like good children together in China, and we also give the best regard to like everybody online here. And we also have a great sharing, okay, from Dr. Sen-Wei, okay? Okay. And if you think that I don't look good and I want to go to Dr. Tsai, sure, of course. Okay? And now we have a lot of great like newsletters. And we don't like this to happen. But to the Jinsi abode, it is really something that we must do. And we already received the message, and we have increased the number of the lunch from 20 boxes to 140, and they are going to the funeral home. and we already sent over like 1,800 lunch to people in the hospitals and in the funeral homes. And why does Dai TV give us so much precious information? Because it is our duty, and we have the sense of mission. And this is this is a video from the supervisor of Dai TV. I just want you to take a look at how horrifying the scene was. And we also have the first-hand information. Later on, Pei-Ling will share you everything. And we have also a volunteer, and it is really dark in the tunnel. And when we see the ambulances, it's just like the light beam to us. And we have a rescue party there. Okay, and I just hold it up the kid from the crash. So many injured people, and we have to settle them down first. And people were just squeezed and twisted, and they just died without any single thinking moment. But I want you to believe that everyone is good, and we bravely just take their body home. And I believe that they heard it. I truly feel that it is the moment that I really feel that the people just pass away there with the wind blowing, and I really felt really down at that moment. We have two doctors right there, and we just mobilized about 1,000 like nurses and doctors at the same time in the hospital. I want our lunch to be neat and clean, and all the abodes all the masters in the abode at the first moment just begin preparing lunch, and they really concentrated like every single moment to provide the best care and the best regards toward the people who suffer in this train crash. And we like to give the comforting letter to everyone and try to comfort them a little bit. And we also set up like a service station at the funeral home, and we want to accompany all the family members there who need us. And we also have a lot of volunteers there. We don't disturb, we don't interrupt, we just be there silently with them. It is kind of considerate love toward people who are there. Impermanence is always there, and I'm lucky that I have been in Tzu and I don't get disturbed. As a Tzu volunteer, I think we are the beam light that shine people. And we are always there. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Pei-Ling from Dai TV, and she's gonna be sharing with us how she felt after this crash. I think everybody is down at this moment, and she gave me her like information, and she gave me her PowerPoint just beforehand, and she just hesitated whether she's going to be sharing this today or not. Well, and how much information we have got from Dai TV, you know it, and we know it. I just want to tell you that the volunteers and all the rescue parties members there, they never took any rest, and they are just doing their best to save anybody who can be saved there. And thank you that I have the chance. And actually, a month ago, I have already prepared my PowerPoint. But as Mr. Zheng Yan says that we don't know when impermanence will just arrive. And while I was on the way back to my hometown, I received such a mishap message. So that day, I felt that I was in the HSR train coach, and, and which is just similar to the Toraco train coach. While I was on the train, I couldn't sleep. I have been continuing receiving such messages from this train crash for 5 days. And I really felt down today. But also thank you for your exercise team that really just boost me up a little bit. Why I put my title like 400 miles away from home? I just want to tell you it is like 372 kilometers. I think if we go back to Hualien and we have to take the railway back to Hualien, and Toraco train is a must for us. And it is also a very important train for people who are going home for the tomb sweeping day. But for some people, they couldn't go home anymore. And on April 2nd at 9:28, and the crash just happened. And at 9:34, and we received a case in the police station of the New Taipei City. And after 10 o'clock, rescue parties arrived with 10 ambulances there. And all the people therefore were at the Qinshui Tunnel that moment. And we just, gave our train whistle there. And we also mobilized like over 130 volunteers and rescue party members there. I want you I want to tell you that later on I will play some videos which may be kind of upset for you. And finally, I realized that from this video, I really felt what Mr. Zheng is trying to say is too late. So let's play this video. And 7 seconds from the tunnel to the Qinshui Tunnel, and you will see the crash there. And it was the last second, and the train driver just couldn't make any reaction because he just saw a trailer there just right on the railway, and he couldn't make any reaction. And we know that as the train crashed, and the passengers on the train will just never feel the pain because it's too urgent. And it equals that they got crashed on over 351 trailer trackers, and we just had like all the west, we can say just west right there. But fortunately, as Mr. Zheng Yan says, that we are so lucky, and just shorter than 10 minutes, then we just received a message from our head nurse, Sen-Wei, that she has already off the train, so she was lucky. And on the right, then you will see our CSO, Chief Strategy Officer Zhang. And when did we see the news clips? And the train crash happened at 28, and we received the video around the 9:40. And if you watch that news, then you will know that we just play this news around the 10 o'clock. And let's take a look at the head nurse, the video from the head nurse. And the trailer tracker just fell off from this slope onto the railway, and you will see the train already destroyed there. So they got crushed all together, mixed up there. And if we have a 6 realm in the universe, then I would say this is a hell realm. And let's take one more look at the video on the right. Luckily, passengers could just escape from the crash. How lucky they were that they could be saved. And as we begin our rescue mission, you will see all the volunteers with the red and the yellow vests. And actually, they are from Hualien, and they are the rescue party members. And they just got into the tunnel and try their best to save anybody who can be saved there. And as Teacher Mei said just now, as our message just came by through our telephone, through our cell phone, and I just felt that, okay, there's something bad that is happening. And as a journalist, we have to stand by there 24 hours a day, especially when emergency really happened. But I felt so heartbreaking because it happened on the first day of our consecutive holidays. And we knew that so many people are waiting to be saved there. Then we have a journalist, we have an anchorman, we have an anchor women, and luckily they were all in Hualien. So at the first very moment, and they were there and they give their first aid to people and try to deliver the latest news. And we broadcast the news at 10, at 3:30 in the afternoon, at 7 o'clock in the evening, and at 10:20 at late night. We try our best to tell people what is happening. So on that day, on Facebook of Dai News, and we know that we have Lin Junlong, CEO of the medication mission, and he shared one thing that they say other TV, other news channels didn't know much about our Tzu News, and they may not be very interested in reporting our news. But that day, people just came over here, the channel journalists just came over here and asked me like how old I am, and CEO Lin Junlong just told them, and he is like over 70 years older. Therefore, a lot of people just reported this as their news later. So for some level, we really, we really want to say that, people would know that it is lucky that we have a Hualien Tzu hospital there. Then, of course, on the Facebook of Da'ai News, we don't really patiently read all the news. Therefore, we just give some like a short sentences with like photos there, trying to show you what's happening there. And I'm so grateful that our masters from the abode always give their best regard and their heartwarming care to people who need us. And during such disasters, and let's not forget about our religious belief. It's not necessarily Buddhism. And I have to tell you that the train driver Yuan Chengxiu, who just passed away in a crash, his mother actually is Yi Guan Dao. And no matter what religious belief you have, we just want you to be calm. And another doctor, I think you know him now. During this aid, and this is Dr. Wu, and he is humble, and actually he is a bone doctor, and he is also a leader of the rescue party. And this is why that he can just run into the tunnel and try his best to save people. And when he was working in the hospital and he told his patient that he had something emergent, so he had to just leave. And because he had to come over to the tunnel and save people. And he was humble. He said right there, he just did just something which is easy, and that is he just held on the child. And I have to say that he is a role model of all the doctors. And he can just remain calm and save people. And in our official website, and at the first moment after the crash happened, and we continuously send the latest news through the news tickers. And we also put on the comforting letter from Mr. Zheng Yan, trying to show how Mr. Zheng Yan feels about this crash. And we also put some information from the blessings from Manahai in Turkey. They give us a very, very heartwarming blessings. I still remember that it was a day on April 2nd. Just within a short period of time, then we just set up a contact center in the Jin's abode. And through video conferences and the Dai TV news, and people just know everything. They just know what's going on. And we also had like two CEOs of a charity and a CEO of medication there. And there are a few video clips that I'm playing. I just feel a little bit upset because, I was thinking that whether I should play them or not. Because it's gonna be bad for people to just see such bad video clips because, I simply shows what hell is really like. And I don't want to give you bad impressions. But here at the study group, let me tell you that I have to show you this is impermanence. And impermanence is always there. And we have to hold on to the chances and a good affinities and do every good deed that we can. And here, the lady who just took the pictures is Zhu Qi, and she is the manager of Dai TV. And if you don't feel good, you can just close your eyes. Well, this is very sad that I have to say the train just get into west because of the very, very heavy crash. Mr. Zheng Yan says at the abode, and she can just feel all the passengers and all the people there are really calm and really peaceful there. Although they just suffered a great crash there. And she knows that a lot of people must have been comforting them to make them calm. And you will see the lady on the left, and she just hold her chest And I didn't let you see her legs because he suffered from bone fracture. Just because she was just pulled out from the train coach. And on the right, and you will see the lady lying there suffer from injuries, traumas. And the blood on them is not exactly their own blood, maybe it's other people's. And she just calmly told the rescue party members that she wants to be sent to Tzu Hospital. I think this is the role model. I think we are the first choice for them. And you will see the kid here. We don't want you to see him, and let's take a look. And we have a volunteer there with him. Okay, so buddy, try to move a little bit to let us know you are good. And the volunteer just held his hand and comforted his chest. And the rescue party members are trying to just cure him a little bit because he also suffered from the bone structure here, bone fracture here. And we just want to try to calm him down. And on the left, on the right is his father. And he says that, please hold on to the end and just take it. If you can take it, then we have tomorrow. A lot of people don't even have the time for tomorrow. And if you can be here, you are here, so you are lucky enough. And we are on the 8th train coach. And after the 3 whistles of the train, and we didn't know what happened. We didn't even know what's going on there. And all the train coaches before us and after us were all destroyed. And I was just pinned under my legs. So after I got out from the crash, and I tried my best to crawl out there. And all the train coaches and all the chairs were just twisted, piled up. Then just mess, what a mess. And it's just a mess inside there. And I just saw a lot of people, they just couldn't survive. And actually the father got injured on his belly. And he sat on the wheelchair and he bent himself because he felt so painful that time. And when he just slowly moved his own wheelchair toward his son, trying to say something to his son that, okay, cheer up, that you have to survive. I think, when people are suffering over such a catastrophe, I say, and we can see the love from the Father. And now I'm studying PhD, and he once rudely asked me a question that he says, why we need so many Tzu Chi volunteers, because over 50% of the population in New Orleans are Tzu Chi volunteers, and he asked, why do we need so many volunteers of Tzu Chi here? And today I have to reply, I have to answer to my professor. It is so great that we have so many Tzu Chi volunteers in Hualien now, because we can just serve the very, very first-hand service and do all the good deeds and send all the relief materials to people, to anybody who need it. And right on the pictures, you will see the train station, and we use the folding bed, and we offer the folding beds for people who survive and send them to Tzu Chi Hospital. And also, we send the people who just passed away, and we want to show our dignity to them. And maybe what we do doesn't have an SOP, and some people may not know what we are doing, but we offer them the care and the comfort. This is what really touches me. And for our co-workers here, and a lot of people, of course, they suffer from the great pressure. And for people and for our colleagues who just come back during their vacation, and I really deliver my best regard to them. And we have people from vacation, and we have volunteers, we have documentary volunteers, and we also have a support. And here on the center, and we see a lady, and she just got a duty, and she just stayed there 3 days. She didn't have to do this. And we got this picture. She's young, and she was a student from Tsinghua University. And journalists are also part of the rescue party members, because they have to send back the latest news back to the TV station and report the news to audience. And she and they had to stay in the very, very terrible condition and a very terrible environment, and do their best to just deliver the news. And she told me that the boots she wore couldn't be warm anymore. And when we are doing when they are doing so, the weather condition was not okay. Therefore, she told me that she was in wet pants and a wet hoodies there. And Chen Qinghe, the deputy principal of Tsinghua University, said that the journalists were also part of the victims. They also need comfort. They also need encouragement. And when we see this picture, I just asked them a question. I say, "Are you afraid when you were there?" They said, "No." But I had nothing. I had no money next month. And when we say they had nothing to eat, they had no money, it doesn't exactly mean that. It means that they really had nothing to eat, because on the disaster areas, they didn't have anything to eat but just dust. So when they come back, what they need most is water and of course some other food. And they say this is their duty. And I really feel heartbroken for them. I really say that they need our encouragement. And they also received the lunch from the abode. And food will be just dispatched in the morning, in the afternoon. And I have to say, Tzu volunteers are really considerate and they care about all the details, and they play the role of the support there. And right here at the funeral home, and it is okay.
So our report is quite different from other TV station, and this is Liu Yicheng. at a Tarako train crash, and he saw on the news that there's a victim that has a same name as his, Liu Yichen. So he take a trip to Taidong to visit the new funeral home and met the family of another Liu Yichen, who's the victim. They are only 1 year apart. Their birthday is only 1 year apart, and they both are. And Liu Yichen went to visit the funeral home, and the family of Liu Yichen felt very. They were comforted by this. Come by this another Liu Yichen. Although we lost our son, and we're very happy, we're very glad to see this another young life with the same name. It's just like seeing our own son. And you see the mother deal, like seeing your own mother. I didn't know that. I didn't expect that I would be able to meet the family, and I they have they want to. Liu Yichen is going to visit a family deal again, and Liu Yichen lived in the east coast of Taiwan, and the TV reporter does not only wanted to report the tragedies, also wanted to report the warmth of humanity at the disaster scene. Yuan Chen show, he's only 30 something years old, and his sister at the funeral ceremony says that hope that his younger brother not only remember to go home, his spirit could go home, and also ask and take all the victims' spirit home, ask them to go home. All their families are waiting for them. And the sister said that he knows her brother. And his brother is still his brother at the very last moment of his life is still very diligently work very hard on his job. And in the next few days, we're going to continuously report on this disaster. We're very grateful that at the incident, this disaster happened, and all the journalists at the TV station, they would work. They would not leave their job. They would continuously reported news and bring the latest news to the audience. And at the disaster scene, the relief disaster relief team, they have to be able to categorize the level of injury at the right away, so they could be sent to the proper the nearby hospitals. So there's a patient that say that request that she want to be sent to the hospital. Um, Oh, when long time ago, when Master Zhenyang wanted to build a hospital in east coast of Taiwan, many Tzu Chi volunteers, they rejected, they didn't agree with Master Zheng Yan's proposal. They didn't think that it was necessary to build a modernized hospital was in the east coast of Taiwan because of the scarce population back in that time. But Master Zheng Yan insisted on her proposal. She say that you want to build a hospital with modern technology so that the residents in east coast of Taiwan, they when they have injury or severe illness, they don't have to be sent to Taipei for to seek for the treatment. So in this disaster, we see that um, the function of Tzu Chi Hospital in east coast of Taiwan, a hospital with modern technology, with advanced technology, will be able to treat a patient with a severe injury right away. When when you have affiliation with Tzu Chi, you will you we hope that you will be able to learn more about Tzu Chi, and you will be able to learn Master Zheng Yan's teaching and calm your mind, and also bring the love and warmth and share the love and warmth to people around you. And today we are a human being, and we all of us will have the Buddha nature in our mind, in our heart, and we as a human being, all of us have a responsibility to spread the love and warmth among our fellow human being. And today, journalist Pei-Ling came here to share the latest news with us. And online, everyday journalists on Dai TV put up on the cloud on the internet to for us the audience could be able to see the warm pictures, not only the disaster picture with sorrows, but also the pictures of heartwarming scene at the disaster area, so that it would encourage us. It would give us all these heartwarming pictures and news will encourage us to continue our this life path. So we'll do the good deed diligently to will bring blessings to the world. So all of us, we could do good deeds at our own, and also encourage each other to do good deeds. And we're very grateful to have the journalist, the Pei-Ling here, and she actually prepared another topic, but because this disaster happened in east coast of Taiwan, this train crash, so she changed her topic of sharing. And the next week, there will be a Ni Mingjin, the anchor of Thai TV, Thai News. He will be here to promote, do the sharing of how to promote a vegetarian diet. And this, just like Sunshine, this drama, it will be about a very young volunteer in US. She suffered from leukemia, and because of her inspiration, there very touching story about her. And there's another there's a radiologist will be here, and Ah Liang, he is from Dai drama about Liang. He is our brother Liang. Liang, he's a volunteer who used to be an inmate in the prison, and now he is a volunteer of city. And that is there's only magnificent of diligent work, and we don't have to wait for the magnificent to come. And let's pay our respect to Buddha and Master Cheng Yen. First bow, second bow, and third bow. Let's wave to each other to say goodbye. And this will be the completion of our group study, online group studies.